step out. They'll talk for a little while, and then they'll ask you to come back and give you some feedback. They won't like say a winner. They'll just say like, Demetria, you did this really well, and you did this really well, and here's an area you could improve. And then Bryce, same thing.
So,
Other questions?
so you do a lot. How do you handle critiques and things? Or
In general, or for this oral argument?
no, for you in life, like when you
Life?
do stuff.
You gotta welcome it.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
you know, especially if it's from somebody. Actually, I take it back. If it's a critique that is well reasoned, then I think you like take it to heart. You try to improve and learn from your mistakes. You know, if it's like some buffoon like criticizing you, then don't let it bother you. And then kind of parallel to that, there were probably about like 10 people in the world whose opinion I really care about.
Mm.
Like, if I disappoint them, there's a strong presumption that I have done something wrong. In my mind, there's a strong presumption that like I have failed in some way. But then beyond that, I don't care what they think. Because like, you know, maybe they're right, maybe they're not right, and you can't live your life trying to please everybody, you know? So,
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Maybe it's too small a circle of people whose opinion I care about. But, I mean, yeah, like, also then, like, I take like mass opinion to be informative. Like, if I teach 40 students, and if 39 of them say, like, the class was too hard, then that means the class was too hard, you know? But if I teach 40 students and one of them says the class was too hard, you know, take that with a grain of salt. Yeah.
So if you get a really hard question that you just absolutely
Oh,
don't
yeah.
which happened to me yesterday in my practice round, like what do you do?
What was the
Do you just
question?
say, I don't remember.
It was something about both of me.
record, but she said that she got the question from another practice round that she did, that somebody said it was in the record.
Oh, I know
and
what you.
didn't recognize
I know
it.
what the question was.
What was it?
It was Dr. Adler couldn't answer these questions in the record, and then she didn't really know, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't know. So what do you do? Like, do you just say?
I mean, I think that it happens, you know, in this exercise, and then also in real life it happens. Yeah, you try to be prepared, but nobody's perfect. So one thing you can do is be candid and say, you know, I'm not familiar with that part. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that part of the record. If you can tell me what Dr. Adler said, then I can explain why we still win, basically, or whatever the question was. I can give you an answer question. You know, if they're not willing to do that, you could say, if you give me a moment, I'm happy to check the record. You should always have the record with you. Maybe you ask them to point you to where in the record that is. I mean, it's not really their job to like be helping you, but again, like I know I've said this before, but if it's a good judge, the judge is not there to stump you or make a point. The judge is there to have a conversation that helps the judge figure out the right answer. But you know, not all judges get that. A third option, which I would probably be my last of the three, is if those two fail, then just say, you know, I'm sorry I can't answer your question right now, but I'm happy to look into that after this argument and file what would it be? File a letter with the court, basically. We call it a 28J letter or something like that. I forget exactly. Yeah.
How many judges are there going to be?
There should be 2 to 3 in each room. Most rooms, I'm going to guess, have 2. Hopefully there'll be no room with just one. That's a little bit. Then you're like, that increases the chances of having a dud panel. But yeah.
What's a nice way? Because I don't know I don't know what's wrong with me, but I can't hear questions sometimes. Like understand them.
Yeah, you just ask. Say, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I couldn't hear you. Could you ask your question a little louder?
Well, it's just me. I
Processing
don't know
it.
if I'm not listening or if I'm really nervous. So I'm trying my hardest to listen.
Well, I mean, you could ask the judge to repeat it.
Okay, but okay. Like
You think that still won't work?
No, how would I do that?
Just ask. Say, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Would you mind repeating that?
Okay. Good.
Also, by the way, even if you did hear the question, it's a good stall tactic while you think of an answer. Don't overplay it. Don't do it more than once. But in a 15-minute argument, I think that's a card you can play once. Especially, you're junior attorneys, so you're learning. So if you had done 100 of these, then maybe the judge should expect better than that. I'm going to mention this on Wednesday, but the number 1, everyone paying attention here, is greater than the number 5. And here's why I'm telling you this, okay? Number 1 is less than number 5.
This trickery right here.
Okay, number 1 is less than the number 5. And here's why. Because this school's bureaucracy moves at a snail's pace, I just now got your student evals from the fall. And here's what it was. This is not like a pat on the back, but all the comments, there were no harshly critical comments, okay? No one said, like, I hated this class. I have had that before. Like, I hated this class. This is the worst thing ever, blah, blah, okay? But 3 students in one class gave me a 1 for every score, which is the worst score. And I'm not complaining about the 1 if they actually meant to do that, but it would be weird to score a 1 when all of your commentary is positive, which makes me think they probably thought that 1 was the best. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe they just really were happy until they got to the scoring part, and then they were like, actually, on second thought, worst class ever, 1. But on the chance that the score, they intended their score to match their written commentary, and on the chance that this is you, next time, 5 greater than 1.
Oh, okay.
5 is good. 1, I don't make tenure. All right. All right. So I'll try to remind you all next class. So. Okay. Let's do practice oral arguments. Who wants to be a practice judge, especially if you haven't been one before? Are you the practice or?
I was going to volunteer to go first.
I think we have an order, but maybe let me see. In the meantime, who wants to do a judge? You got nothing to lose.
Come on, Dimitri. You ain't gonna throw up.
So the thing about the shakes that I never finished, they're good. I like them. Man, they killed my stomach. But that might just be me, because I don't really do milk like that. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got.
I just don't do the milk. I think that's just me, though.
Wait, how's this?
It's probably like almond milk. Whatever. Either way, do that.
Well, plus the protein, yeah, whatever.
Shit ton of protein.
Bro, I went home on the second one. So the first one.
Okay, so the order goes Shelby Hall, who's not here. Convenient for her. Melvi, Priya, Zach, and Dimitri.
Not here.
I haven't gone yet.
And you haven't gone. Shelby Boyd's not gone.
Oh,
Who else hasn't gone?
T
Taylor.
back.
Jacob hasn't gone.
Jacob.
Taylor.
Wow, you all are partners, right?
We were partners.
We're. Can see who didn't carry his weight. Okay, so that's actually pretty. We've actually got to get through a lot today.
That
I realized we had
hurt.
7. Anybody else not go?
That hurt me, Jacob.
I will. I do have I am making a list of everyone who goes with some, like all the good things you did well. And then I also have a list of the class, so I will compare and make sure everyone went after it's too late. So. Okay.
Oh, question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do we have class next week, or is this
Wednesday, just Wednesday.
Okay.
Last class.
Except-
Review.
Review.
Is that the one where I used to dominate movies?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, is that okay? Let's
Yes.
do it.
Bring it.
Yes.
Revenge.
We get to play the game.
Hey, you gonna be here the whole time now?
Yes,
That
come on, let's
combines
do it. But you
important
guys
movie
are trying to
trivia
get
with
the
things you've
I can
learned this
push the button.
semester.
Yeah.
And then there's a new
Dimitri just clicks it as soon as he finishes.
singing.
We never win.
We sit around like,
Huh?
We barely get points.
Do you know how to sing?
Damn, she's good.
Then you can win. Huh? That's all right.
Oh, did you print off
You'll
with
have
that
opportunities.
unauthorized record on appeal? My
My
dog ate my
You don't
binder,
have to
so I
know
don't
the
have any of
movies.
that shit.
If you know a lot of the class,
Under school.
if you know a lot of the stuff we
My dog fucking sucks, man.
Didn't he eat your notebook last year?
He ate my book.
Oh yeah, your book.
I've got a question.
All right.
Not this one. It was
Another question.
property.
So, I remember the other day, kind of looking through moot court, someone was talking about it, and they said, for the Department of Justice, someone was asked, if the court considers the report testimonial, is that the only evidence that Mr. Miller is essentially guilty, and what happens if we throw the testimonial evidence out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
What's
so
the
the
case?
I'll say the judges have a bench memo that instructs them not to ask that question because that is inquiring into a separate legal argument called harmless error, which is even if the district court erred, even if the trial court erred by allowing the confrontation, the evidence that violates the confrontation clause, was the error harmless, in which case, like, bad district court, but the conviction still stands. And in a real case, you would have briefed that, in addition to everything else you briefed. But the other legal writing professors and I were trying to simplify.
Okay, so
So-
it's just one of the students, okay.
I mean, having said that, like, judges don't always do what they're supposed to do on the thing. So, what would you do if you're asked that question? Any ideas?
Ask about harmless error.
Yeah. I would just argue it, and I might say something along the lines of, Your Honor, although we were instructed not to brief harmless error, I'm happy to try to explain why I think if you're the defendant, it was not harmless error, and if you're the government, why it was harmless error. And then you just say, like, if you're the defendant, how important the autopsy report was to the conviction, which is really important. The whole defense was that it was suicide and not murder, and probably the main evidence that it was murder was this autopsy report. So it seems like it was probably not harmless error. If you're the government, I don't know, what would your argument be that it was harmless error? Is there any other evidence? I guess you could say there was other evidence of motive and means and opportunity, and the life insurance policy, for example, is pretty strong evidence that this was murder and not suicide. At that point, you just put on your common sense hat, forget about lawyering, and argue the facts. Why was there enough to convict versus why was there not enough to convict, absent the autopsy report? So you can do it, but it's kind of a dumb question for the judges to ask because it does not reflect the work you've done.
All right, so,
Over this
because I was hearing it from one of the student questions.
Bad student. Other questions? All right, let's do it. Belby, you're up. In a great mood. Got my donuts,
She had to go first anyway.
my drink.
I wanted to go first because I just went with Zach and he just mind blown. So
Zach blew your mind?
Yeah.
How?
well,
She's
we'll
good.
see if it works. He told me to try it, so I'm really going off script here.
Okay, we're ready when you are.